A fine example was the conquest of the Ghost Valley. At first, Thorn had waited to see the young mage embarrass himself, but it ended up in a loud slap. The young mage miraculously managed to reach an agreement with the Black Tower and thoroughly annihilate the Thongfire tribe, bringing huge benefits to the Merlin family. Thus, Thorn clenched his teeth and decided to make a gamble. He really couldn't think of another way to help the group get out of danger. Prepare for action. Lin Yun tightly stared at the northern side, a grave expression on his face, countless flames emerging and covering his whole body. A red light flashed, quickly rushing north. Seeing Lin Yun lead the way, the other 5 people followed with their own fire elemental incarnation after a short hesitation. Soon, the group clashed with the first wave of ice-field mammoths, hundreds of meters in front of them. Even Lin Yun had cold sweat dripping down his forehead. This was too frightening. There was at least 200 to 300 ice-field mammoths within several hundred meters. This was equivalent to fighting a legion of over 200 newly advanced archmages. On the first clash, countless ice spells flew towards them. This was truly terrifying. Let alone counter-attacking, mages with poor mental fortitude might not even have the courage to flee when faced with this attack. Lin Yun's group was relatively good in this regard. Ida, Yuri, Thorn and the 2 others had participated in planar wars for decades and had went through over 100 battles of this scale. Although the scene before them was shocking, they wouldn't be terrified witless. And Lin Yun was better off. After all, he had experienced the destruction of Nascent. Rumble. At this time, it seemed as if the entire winter ice field was shaking, countless cracks spreading on the ground and expanding as the ice field mammoths quickly dashed. White mist filled the sky, spreading like a cloud of dust. A total of 6 fiery red silhouettes could be seen moving behind those mountain-like monsters. They were all already surrounded by the ice field mammoths. The situation was very dangerous. The destructive physical power of the ice field mammoths could only be described as terrifying. The ancient ice of the ice field was cracking under their limbs perfectly depicted that. While everyone was quickly moving, they had no other choice but to be on guard. It would be a disaster if they got rammed by an ice field mammoth. At that time, their defensive enchantments would be no different from paper. The most troublesome part was the ice field mammoths' innate abilities, especially in an environment like this world of ice. The power of their ice spells would be greatly improved and was comparable to newly advanced archmages using their strongest spells. I wonder if we can get past. Even 5th rank Sword Saint Thorn was somewhat anxious. Deep worry could be seen on his face. Crossing 2 kilometers was easy as blowing off dust to these powerhouses. But this was clearly special circumstances. A large amount of ice field mammoths were rushing over, the numbers continuously increasing as they hindered their escape. They had to avoid colliding with the ice field mammoths. For a while, everyone in the group, including Lin Yun, was in an awkward situation. In a few minutes, Ida was careless while moving and an ice spell brushed past him, lightly wounding him. Archmages might be considered as the main forces in the conquests of countless planes, but in this world of ice, they could fall anytime. After all, their opponents were mammoths counted on thousands. After more than 10 minutes, the 6 fiery red silhouettes were still dashing between the icefield mammoths. They had only moved 500 meters, a quarter of the way. Beside Lin Yun, everyone had received some injuries, but fortunately, no one was seriously hurt. But even as everyone already adapted to their situation and they were methodically avoiding colliding with the icefield mammoths, a shocking mana fluctuation suddenly rose. Everyone was startled and they all tacitly looked towards the source of the mana fluctuation. They saw the blazing Lan Merlin levitating in the air, holding his staff within his hands as it blossomed with a dazzling light. He chanted long incantations and only a whistling sound could be heard as a burning aura spread everywhere. 5th tier spell Fire Dragon. It looked alive in Lan's hands as it flew towards the icefield mammoths, leaving behind a trail of fire. Rumble. A deafening explosion echoed as ice shattered, sending countless pieces of ice flying in all directions. It felt as if the entire ice field shook. A dazzling flame sword and a burning aura filled the air as a sea of flames spread for several hundred meters. Lan, who caused such a huge destruction, didn't stop even for a second. He instead held his staff very high and kept casting tyrannical fire spells. The entire area was filled with flames, and after a deafening sound, they could clearly hear miserable shrieks. Those came from the icefield mammoths. In Lan's short outburst, at least 10 icefield mammoths lost their lives and several dozen sustained injuries. This kind of accomplishment was something only an old archmage close to the high ranks like Lan could achieve, but that burst of power also used up a lot of mana. This caused his complexion to worsen. It looked as if his face was devoid of blood. He was very happy about his feat of killing over 10 icefield mammoths in one move. It was as if he had vented the feelings he had kept bottled, but at this time, an icy voice echoed next to his ears. Sir Lan, your actions are a bit excessive, aren't they? As that voice echoed, Lan discovered that, unbeknownst to him, a fiery figure shrouded in flames had appeared beside him. That young voice wasn't unfamiliar. He knew full well that the owner of that voice was that damn Moffa Merlin, and Lan's expression instantly turned gloomy. Excessive. How is it excessive? After all, he had just used a lot of mana to display the power of a 4th rank archmage at its finest and killed over 10 mammoths to alleviate the pressure on the team. This is a huge contribution. How could he say it was excessive? As he thought about this, Lan couldn't suppress a sneer as he said with ridicule, Moffa, I snatched your limelight, thus you feel that I'm too excessive. Your way of thinking is too childish, but nothing can be done about this, you are only a 5th rank high mage. He was even more disgusted with the young mage in front of him. Lin Yun was a bit stunned when he heard this. He helplessly scratched his cheek, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Sir Lan, let me tell you. Our most important task isn't killing ice field mammoths, but to hurriedly cross 2 kilometers to reach a certain place and draw the ice field mammoths there to ensure our safety. Moreover, your action had no meaning, Sir Lan. It is simply a waste of mana. After all, there isn't just those few dozens around us, there are hundreds of them. What are you saying? Lan suddenly raised his voice. I'm saying that your action was completely meaningless. Moreover, it might even affect us. It's fine if you don't want to survive, but please, don't implicate us, okay? I hope you can calm down and stop attacking the ice field mammoths. Lin Yun's mouth twitched as he expressionlessly looked at Lan. Had it not been for the other side's actions possibly affecting his plan, he would have been disinclined to take care of a trifling Lan. Even if the other side was courting death, as long as it didn't influence his plan, he definitely wouldn't interfere. Truly ridiculous. Mafa Merlin, who do you think you are? A heaven mage? No, you are a mere 5th rank high mage, nothing more. Yet you dare criticize me and give me orders. The family's youths don't know the immensity of heaven and earth nowadays. Lan pointed at Lin Yun, glaring at him. How could he not get angered? That damned Mafa Merlin had provoked him a few times already. He clearly didn't attach any importance to his status as an archmage. The most annoying part was that a mere 5th rank high mage dared to criticize him. This was simply courting death. I don't have time to bicker with you. Lan resisted the urge to make a move and took a deep glance at Lin Yun. If not because of special circumstances, he really wouldn't mind teaching him a lesson and show that arrogant youth how frightening an archmage was. Oh, then when do you have time? Hearing Lan's answer, Lin Yun no longer smiled, he was frowning and squinting at Lan. If Shubin was there, he would have ran far away, because he would have known that this kind of Lin Yun was extremely terrifying. Unfortunately, Lan Merlin didn't know this, that 4th rank archmage had originally settled down, but after hearing Lin Yun's words, his anger resurfaced and he sinisterly looked at Lin Yun, Mafa Merlin. You are truly naive. I hope you aren't thinking that I won't dare to make a move against you because of your identity as a planar commander. Let me tell you, you are dreaming. Whether we can or cannot leave this place alive is uncertain anyway. If it was the Raging Flame Plane, or the Merlin family, I might not dare to do anything, but here, ha ha ha.